the Sean Hannity Show. Dick Morris.
As far as I'm concerned, every sin of Barack Obama's is easily forgiven as long as he is the alternative to Hillary. And really, we have in our hands, we meaning conservatives, the opportunity to defeat Hillary once and for all in Ohio and Texas by switching into the Democratic primary, which is fully legal, and voting for Obama. In Texas, you can do it twice. You can vote in the primary, and then you get up and you go to the caucus, and you vote there a second time. And I just hope that the Texas that I have come to know and love, and the Ohio that is absolutely evenly balanced between the parties, that they get out and they do their duty to America.
I think she's the weaker candidate in the general election, and that's why we've put a moratorium on the Stop Hillary Express, because I'd rather go up against her than say Barack Obama. The argument of my friend is you better stop her now. You don't know how dangerous she could be if she ever gets elected president. By virtue of the fact that she's on the ballot in November, she can win.
Yep.
And so,
and I also think that in making a judgment like that, we need to be realistic. The odds are that the Democratic Party is going to win in 2008. Party identification is skewing heavily Democrat. The war remains unpopular. The economy is going down. And I just think that it would be a total catastrophe for this country if Hillary Clinton is president. I think that this is, I think McCain is best. I think Obama's next, and I think Hillary's an entire class by herself. Obama and Hillary might agree on a lot of policies, but Obama is not ruthless and vicious. He's not dishonest. He doesn't skate one step ahead of the grand jury or the sheriff. He's never had an enemies list. He doesn't use private detectives. He doesn't base his whole campaign on smears. He's never handled the futures market for 100,000. He's never lied to a grand jury and almost been indicted twice. He's never cheated on his fundraising allocations of hard and soft money. He's never gotten his brother to get a fee from a drug dealer to get the president to pardon him. And, the point of all of this is that Hillary is a uniquely pernicious person. And if we let her off the mat in Ohio and Texas, it's going to come back to bite us and to haunt us. And I hope that McCain can beat Obama, but I wouldn't bet that he can beat Hillary.
Why do you think she has a better chance than Obama?
I don't. I think Obama has a better chance of winning than Hillary does. But I think that it is likely that Hillary or Obama would defeat McCain. And I think that, therefore, it is crucial that at this juncture we stop Hillary from becoming president. All
right,
it's
so
not a Tweedledum, Tweedledee choice between Obama and Hillary.
I'm with a friend of mine begging me, you've got to tell your audience, look, Republicans, Independents, Democrats in Texas, as you point out, especially in Texas, you can vote twice that day. Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. You can cast your ballot in the primary. Yep. That'll decide the allocation of 126 delegates. Then at 7 p.m., you can attend the caucuses, where another 65 delegates will be selected. And the argument is that if hundreds of thousands of people in both Texas and in Ohio were to do this, that it would be a great service to the country as a good.
Yes, it absolutely would be, and a great disservice if they stayed home. Just consider the record of this woman and consider the Nixonian quality she brings. Look, I supported George Bush as he expanded the powers of the presidency and the federal government to terrifying lengths, to the ability to search homes without search warrants, the ability to conduct secret investigations, the ability to wiretap phone calls, and it's been a terrifying extension of federal and executive power. But I trust Bush. I think he's a good man, and I think my trust is vindicated by the fact that there has never been a report that anybody's foreign security wiretaps or investigations led to an IRS prosecution or a DEA or an INS or any of this other stuff, that it was kept in the realm of national security, occasionally wrong, occasionally that a suspect who turned out not to be guilty. That always happens. But the point is, it was never abused. Hillary would abuse it. This is the woman that got the files of every Republican, the FBI files, to go through them. This is the woman who I believe ordered the release of Linda Tripp's personnel file from the Pentagon to discredit her, an action that was ruled illegal and for which the federal government had to pay Linda $600,000. This is the woman who has an army of private detectives who go over every enemy of the administration, who outed, I believe, Henry Hyde, who outed Robert Livingstone, who outed virtually every Republican they could get their hands on in the impeachment scandal. This is a person that hired the detectives not to reform her husband or divorce him, but to blackmail the woman into secrecy so that he could get elected president. And if I speak with a certain personal passion on it, it is because I feel very badly that I inadvertently and unknowingly put this woman in a position where she could be president of the United States. I don't regret working for Bill, but I certainly regret having put Hillary in this position. I had no idea that this could eventuate. And I believe that it is absolutely vital that she be kept out of office. And frankly, I think it's so much more important
we're beginning
than whether
to see
the D's or the R's win.
Not only the attacks, the accusations that Barack Obama is a plagiarist, not only the attacks he can only give speeches, not only the attacks he's ducking debates. Roger Simon on the Politico writes today a pretty chilling article that Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign intends to go after delegates whom Barack Obama has already won in the caucuses and primaries if she needs them to win the nomination.
And by go after, I would not rule out the investigators or the detectives tracking down dirt on them and using it to blackmail them into supporting Hillary.
But I want to put some emphasis on this, and Simon writes this well. He says he's not talking about the superdelegates, the 795 party big shots who are not pledged to anybody. He's talking about the pledged delegates that Barack Obama won in a free and open election to switch sides.
Yep.
And if you couple that, for example, with the attempt now to go against the agreement in Michigan and in Florida, and the other shenanigans involving superdelegates, it's like they're cheating on every level, or at least strategizing to cheat.
And let's remember that when we talk about Obama, there are important respects in which he is more conservative than Hillary. The big one is health insurance. She would set up a mandatory system of national health insurance. He would not. And that makes a vast difference in terms of the socialization of the system. If you have everybody covered and you have a federal mandate to cover everybody, it basically is at that point socialized medicine with massive utilization controls. No, you may not have this MRI. No, you may not have this CAT scan. No, you may not see an oncologist, which is why the prostate cancer death rate in Britain is twice what it is in the U.S. That won't happen under Obama because it's not going to be a mandatory system, and he's taking a lot of flack for it in the primary. And I'm beginning to do research on all of the respects in which they disagree. But quite clearly, on domestic policy, she is to the left of Obama. And I think that I also sense in Obama a pragmatism that I don't see in her. I think she's very ideologically committed and will do all of that as president. But that isn't the basis of what I'm saying. What I'm saying goes much deeper. It goes to the basic concept of character and decency and civilized norms. And I believe Hillary rejects those, and I think that Obama embraces them.
Do you think that she could be successful in taking away these pledged delegates? Do you think she could be successful in seating the Michigan and Florida delegates that everyone agreed wouldn't be seated?
Well, the issue here is Ohio and Texas. If she wins either Ohio or Texas, she can make a credible case for her candidacy, and she could win this with superdelegates. She could say, look, I won Texas, and I won Ohio, and I won California, and I won New York, and you're not counting it, but I won Florida. In other words, of the 5 leading states in population in the Union, I won 4 of them, and he only won his native state. And he's got a lot of Idahos and Montanas and North Dakotas, but come on. Most of those states aren't going to vote Democrat anyway. And she could make that case, and it would be attractive to superdelegates. However, if she loses Wisconsin, and she loses Ohio, and she loses Texas, she is dead. And nobody will dare cross party lines of their pledges or even of their constituents if they're superdelegates to vote against her. That's why it's so important. And, you've spent and your audience has spent thousands of hours talking about how horrible Hillary is, and you're right. And now your audience has a real chance to prevent her from becoming president, and they should take that opportunity.